Hey everybody, Jim Ingersoll here. Thanks for joining in to Elite Deal Makers. I'm hanging out with a true elite deal maker and a friend of mine from beautiful Sacramento, California, L. Williamson. Woo! Yeah, baby, we're gonna have some fun. And
Yeah.
L's a former engineer like I am. He's also a landlord like I am. He's always in his landlord lab cooking up new ways to niche down. And there are riches and niches, and Al has found, I swear, every single one of them. He's an innovator. He is an innovator in the
Thank you.
landlord space.
Yes, I'm trying.
Always
I am
thinking.
trying.
Al has helped me reposition some of my rentals into extended stay, starting back 3, 4, 5 years ago when he came to Richmond, and has really helped Cheryl and I in a lot of ways. You're like always there for me, Al. If I got a question, I appreciate that about you. And you're like the prince of landlording in the new era of Web 3.0, the Internet of Things all combined together.
Yes, yes. I'm going to be the first mover into the metaverse too.
Yes. How can we be a landlord in the metaverse, right?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I knew you would
I'm
be.
impressing that.
I can't wait to talk about that conversation at Dealmaker 2022, which is in 2 months. Tom Olson is also digging into the metaverse, and he'll be there as well.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
so I'm gonna have to
I'm
talk.
going to learn from him then.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into that a little bit for some fun.
Yeah,
It's a whole new world out there.
absolutely. Absolutely. Imagine how popular your rentals would be if people could uh, walk through and have fun with it in the metaverse and then have the same thing in real life. I mean, it becomes a tourist attraction. And you make money in both platforms.
I see. I like the way you're thinking. Okay, love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about extended stay, because that
Okay.
is like the lane you've really helped define more than anybody else. You've really innovated in that lane for landlords. So all of us landlords that are renting the travel nurse and extended stay models, we're really grateful for you. So tell us like how you started going down that road and moving into that lane years ago, and then where
It-
you're at and where you're headed.
I was when we met, you were up on stage talking about a former engineer, and I was an extended stay. I was a remote worker. I was
Yeah.
still an engineer overseeing bridge construction and transportation projects away from home for 6 to 10 months. So I needed the product. I needed extended stays, and I couldn't feel at home in a hotel. I couldn't even feel at home in a extended stay hotel.
Hmm.
You know, the CEO of Airbnb, one of his quotes is, the more workers are away from home, the longer they're away from home, the more they need a place that feels like home.
Hmm.
And that is so true. And that's where our niche is. I think us landlords and even people aspiring to provide housing for extended stay workers can easily outperform any extended stay hotel in your area. So that's essentially it. It boils down to, if you have an extended stay hotel in your town, then you can make money. The,
So, okay, so let's talk about that. So compared to traditional rentals, if you're getting, I don't know, $800 in a 2-bedroom apartment or $1,000 in a little house, I mean, what would you be able to rent those for extended stay? I know it
well,
varies, but
yeah, if you're the owner of the property, you can start looking at $700 to $1,000 more per month.
it's a good way to
With
put it.
that's a kind of a model, especially if now the larger the home, the bigger your margin is. So that's where it's going to roll out.
I think
Yeah.
that's accurate. I've got like a tiny house, 1-bedroom, 480 square foot house that I rent travel nurse for $1,500 a month. And I would bet you're right that it's probably 500 to 600 a month if I didn't do travel nurse.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah. So
love this product now. Like
I bet they do. I would love it too.
I need to keep increasing my monthly rent there. which
Yeah.
I've been doing. So I'm seeing like rents go up as well.
Yeah.
Which is a great hedge on inflation. So yeah, I think you're right, 700 to 1,000 more. So everybody watching that's landlords right now, wouldn't you love to increase your cash flow by 700 to $1,000 a month? Put that
Yeah.
in the back of your mind.
And oftentimes landlords are only netting on so I'm talking on a net income basis.
Right,
Oftentimes landlords are only making $100 to $200 per month.
right.
Realistically, when they get real, and then so that's almost 3 times more, instead of going buying out another property, which is great. And if you have the down payment and bank loans and times, or you can simply change the operating processes, the operating system inside your rental. That's what you're swapping out. And that doesn't really cost anything at all.
So you could go from 200 to 400 a month to $1,000 a month.
That's right.
And
Quickly. Yeah.
so the question is like, if you're watching this with us today, is like, how many rentals do you own? And what would really be the impact if you took 25% of them and converted them? All you've really got to do is put furniture in them,
Right.
pull up some Wi-Fi, and
Yep.
then rent them, because there's a lot of demand for sure. There is
And
not
increasing.
enough housing in this niche. They talk
Yeah.
about inventory problems in the real estate, but they never talk about this niche. This niche does not have enough inventory either.
And this niche just got funded by the federal government. So there's going to be even more infrastructure, even more workforce housing. That's why I think I'm going to talk about a deal maker in a couple of days, in a couple months, right?
Months. Deal
I was
maker
thinking about-
2022. Well, dig into that a little bit. Tell me what you're talking about.
Let's talk about workforce rentals
All right.
and that niche that's needed by everything from surgeons to relocation specialists need that, travel nurses, of course, construction crews, and analysts and iron workers and IT professionals. All those
I've even
folks
had people
really need
doing
it.
TV shows,
Yep, TV shows.
all kinds of unique things.
So it's kind of, if you think of it, and this is just a sub niche of everything. But if it's an employer funded stay, so employer funded stay, so the employee is accountable to their employer, and that's the reason they're traveling. And they're traveling not because they want to for vacation, because they're doing it for work. So that's a completely different mindset, a sliver of mindset. That person's highly accountable to their employer. They're there pretty much to get promoted. They're definitely not there to party.
Right.
And since someone else is paying for it, they're not as picky. They're willing to, they're not white gloving your place either. And they're appreciative that you price it so that they can make, you price it below an extended stay hotel, so that in their housing allowance, they're able to they're able to save a little bit of their housing allowance for themselves. So you got all those factors on your place. Your place is a solution for that. It makes that employee extremely happy. Firsthand, they appreciate your place.
They do.
They greatly appreciate it. They're funded by their employer, so they're not losing money. They're making money. They're staying at your place to make money, and they're taking good care of your place.
I like it. And you're right about the white glove, because we do short-term rentals too. And I mean, you've got to be on it to get those 5-star reviews. And when you're doing this model, there are no real reviews to worry about unless you ask them to give you a review, like in Furnish Finder or something like that. It's a good
Right.
point.
Right. And you do want to ask them for reviews, and strategically ask for Yelp and Google listing reviews. Absolutely. So that you start building up your Google rankings, because you want to be found on Google, right, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you got to get,
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. That's how marketing works, though. No, I agree. There's no reason that people with these should not be on Apple Maps and Google Maps and all of that, right?
right. You definitely want, when someone types in housing for Richmond, you want to show up. You want your company to show up on the. You definitely can rank high on that Google map that you see on the first page. You can easily dominate that with just some strategies that we're going to talk about at Dealmaker Pro.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to that. So you're suggesting that you can get bookings without a platform?
I am, absolutely. And there's a whole movement of it because this is not new anymore. Airbnb and VRBO, that's not new anymore. It's been around for a minute. And people know that, especially since Airbnb went public, that they've been raising their fees, and people know that hey, let me go direct and avoid those fees. So people are getting savvy, and is reaching that tipping point where they want to be able to find local direct people so that they can save more money, make more money.
Mm-hmm. So do you have like how are you working? Do you have like a booking site that
I do
link
the
to?
way I do mine is kind of interesting. I'm found on Google easily.
Yes.
I have 2 places. I'm on the front page 2 times.
Oh,
On the
nice.
first page, so I'm ranked real high. And then people go to my website, and then we have a consultative close where we have a conversation. And in that, I am, even if the property that they're asking about is not available, we can, if we have a property, we can recommend it to them, or we can recommend one of our friends in our local area too.
Okay.
So then we send them a 1-page website kind of featuring that particular property that minimizes our vacancies, because we're trying to find one that's available for them in our inventory, and also gives them everything that they want. And that's pretty much it. We take them in right then, and that's how we do it.
And I know, like for my extended stay folks, I like managing them like I do a regular resident. So I'll just take them through. I use Buildium as my platform. And when I'm able to do that, I have no fees. So if they come to me like through Furnish Finders, there's no real fees either. It's just a once a year marketing fee, and that's it.
Right.
But are you able to get more in the general public than you do off Furnish Finders then?
No, it's pretty much the same rate I from Furnish Finder. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I like Furnish Finders coming in. That's the thing about Furnish Finders. I love everything about it. It just doesn't help your Google ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So being Google's measuring those backlinks, right? So Yelp and Facebook business, your Facebook business page, all those are the ones you want to build out, get those reviews on, and people will give you a review if you ask for it. That's the key.
It is.
Is to
Always
ask for it.
right. You don't get anything in life you don't ask for. Ask and
That's
you shall receive. It's
That's it.
biblical, folks.
That's it.
Okay. So if folks want to get a hold of you and contact you, Al, what's the best way?
The best way is to go check me out on landlordscientist.com. You can get a copy of my free book, and you can get this on how to make money, these experiments Jim was talking about, and an audio series on how to reduce your expenses, which is some of the most important things for people having assets. And that's cool. That'd be a good way to get a hold of me. Landlordscientist.com.
Okay. And you offer some training, and you have your Facebook group and things as well.
Right. My trainings, you'll be on my email list. You'll find out about my coaching and training, coaching training program. And I spend a lot of time on trying to figure out new ways to make income and reduce expenses. So if there is a breakout session at Dealmaker Pro, we'll go through that cryptocurrency mining that I've been talking to you about, Jim.
Okay, that's pretty neat. So landlordscientist.com. I like it. It's like you're always in the landlord lab anyways.
That's it.
Trying to figure out how to maximize revenue and cut expenses. And I know one of the things you helped me with last summer was I've got a duplex and I rent both sides. They're both furnished rentals, and I was trying to figure out what to do with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi and TV have gotten expensive. And you told me to go get one of those boosters at Best Buy. Remember that?
Right.
What was that called again?
That was Eros.
Yes.
How did that work out for you?
Excellent. I have no issues.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
provide cable anyways. We just have smart TVs and they can stream whatever they want.
Yeah.
And
They're
Wi-Fi,
probably really happy.
even just Wi-Fi is like $80 a month.
Hmm. So being able to spread it over 2 units, that reduces your expenses and
Yeah.
increases your profits. That's the way to go.
So thank
I
you.
have one, I have one Wi-Fi service, internet service for my entire 8-unit building, and we just repeat. So it's great to be
One
offered
more
that
unit I
service.
can extend into then. Thank you.
Yes.
Cut out another $80. I mean, it all helps for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if somebody's brand new and they're considering like, man, they're still thinking back to your statement that they can make an extra $1,000 a month.
Hmm.
What would be the first couple things to think through to see if that would be a good fit for them?
I like the go, no go option of, is there an extended stay hotel in your neighborhood? Because those guys spent $100,000 on the research,
Good point.
and they know what they've been doing it. They know what they're doing, and then they publicize their rates.
How much
They
are their
give you,
rates typically? I know it varies, but is there a
it can
range?
vary. Yeah, it's going to vary between the government, whatever the government service administration's
Did you-
rates for, yeah, gsa.gov, whatever their rates are for your zip code. So it's going to be at that rate or more. That's pretty much what you're going to expect per night. And
What
some
do you-
people do 80% of that rate just for longer term stays. So it's really gonna vary. It could be $80 to $100 a night
Okay,
easily.
that
Yeah.
helps.
But to see for wherever you are, and you want to do extended stays, that's who you're competing against, is the extended stay hotel. You're simply that shows you people are coming to town, and you're just a better option for them. They can actually feel at home at your place, and that's what they want.
Good point. And I'm thinking through like the one I was referring to earlier, I'm getting 1,500 a month on, there's no extended stay nearby. But that's because it's a city location and there's nowhere for them to build a new extended stay.
Mhm.
And it's near the hospital. And I could probably get a little bit more because if they went to an extended stay, they'd be further away
Right. So you got it beat on all levels, Jim.
for the
You got
location. Yeah,
you
plus
got
it's a standalone house.
the proximity. They can feel at home, and your savings for them. So yeah, those are all the boxes right there.
Okay. All right, so what's next? Like what are you working on in your landlording scientific lab? You
Well,
mentioned the metaverse. Do you want to expand on it
yes.
a little?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not able to speak through it all well, but
Hard to wrap your mind
I
around.
know websites are going to be going away. If you've ever worn Oculus or you know, you can pretty much imagine computer monitors going away, URLs going away, because you'll just be going to places instead of typing it in.
But don't you need a monitor to go? And don't you need the
Not for
internet
long.
to go?
Not for long. You got glasses and you got pop-ups and displays, and it built into every device that you should be able to go through. So those are the things to look for way down the line. I always lose people when I start talking futuristic, but those are the things you want to position yourself to, is to be able to participate in that as people, especially workers, they have kind of the market is in the employer's favor right now. And one of the perks is traveling. So that's another way employers incentivize and also retain their workforces, allow them to work remote and allow them to travel as they're working.
Pretty neat to think that through. I had never considered monitors and URLs and websites disappearing.
Yeah, that's going away. That's for sure.
5 years? I mean, how long is this going to take, do you think? What's your guess?
I would say 5 years. I was saying a lot of it is already here. If you can pretty much buy a set of right now it's clunky, is these Oculus glasses that you see kids playing. You see
Yes, I've played with
yeah.
them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's really pushing things, but all that's just like you used to have a big old cell phone, and then it shrunk down, right? the same thing will happen. You'll have pop displays right there in your glasses there, Jim.
Just like
Yeah,
James Bond.
it'll be right there. Heads up. In fact, that's already here.
Okay, things to watch for.
Things to
But
watch for.
regardless of all that stuff goes away, people still need housing.
They still need housing.
And you've got to be able to, but you got to figure out how you're going to reach them if there's not a website.
Well, it'll be a presence. There'll still be like a presence, but a different version of it so that you can get your message out. That's all. And there will be, and I'm sure of this, there will be plenty of advertising opportunities in the metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be plenty there. There already is. You can already buy stuff there. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, watch for it. You heard it here first.
Yeah. But the important thing is to furnish a rental, and that gives you so many opportunities, and it positions you to capture all these extra profits. And it's really that is you have so many more options. It's so much safer for a landlord to operate a furnished rental, even if it's a 1 year, a long-term furnished rental, that puts you into a different category that at least 30% more than you're making as a regular landlord.
I like it. So what are the things that travelers are looking for in that they can find in housing we can provide versus what an extended stay will provide? You keep mentioning like the home feeling, but
yeah,
how to create that?
Well, one thing that I've been experimenting with and really working with is these portable washer and dryers.
I've seen you doing those. Okay.
Yeah. So those together, both of them together, you can get them for $700, and just some really easy plumbing. The dryer is like a big hair dryer.
It's
So
ductless.
you just plug it in. Say that again.
Is it ductless?
Nope, it has a duct to it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I always like to focus people on. If you think of it as a hair dryer, it runs on electricity. There's no gas fumes. So you can have it discharged into a bucket of water, and it captures the lint. That's all you need. You don't have to worry about gas fumes, just like you don't have to worry about your hair dryer and when you're on your hair. So that's really it. You don't have to punch a hole through the house. You don't have to redo your outlets. It's really, you're up and going. And that alone will have you beat anyone who doesn't have a washer and dryer.
Which
and
is
for sure.
Stay, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. So I really like those, and just arranging your the television experience, and arranging things so that people can really, with the mindset of, hey, someone's going to be sitting with their feet up working on their laptop. How can I arrange the view to give them an experience? So those types of thinking is what's always going to set you apart.
My wife Cheryl every night, so I got it.
Yes, you got to set up that way, and that speaks to the person who's traveling.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, the demand is high.
Yes.
The market is hot.
Yes.
And why wouldn't you want to make an extra $1,000 a month? So connect with Al at landlordscientist.com and join both of us at Dealmaker 2022. That needs to be your takeaway. And don't delay, guys. Get started on this. You can do this. Start with 10 or 25% of your rental portfolio and convert it. And you'll see it's very easy to, I mean, mine L are 100% full constantly.
Yeah, that's about right.
And I'm looking for opportunities to add more. And there's a lot of opportunities I got contacted by one last night. So they're constantly flowing in.
Constantly flowing in.
Thanks for innovating that niche and going down that lane, Al, because a lot of us landlords are very grateful that you do that. You've helped us tremendously.
Good. That's my pleasure. Absolutely.
All right. So a couple of engineers talking about being landlords. That pretty much sums up today's Elite Deal Makers. Al, I look forward to seeing you in person.
Yes.
In 2 months in March is going to be awesome at Dealmaker 2022. And people can check that out. Click the link below or go to dealmaker2022.com and you'll get a full session with the always amazing and a lot of fun Williamson. Al, thanks for being my guest today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to brushing off my bow tie and seeing you in person.
Yes, you'll need a beaker and some test tubes. Okay? Thanks. I'll see you in March.
Okay.